innovative content, global audience.
Thank God it's Friday. It's another beautiful day here in the Federal Capital Territory, and we're reaching you live from our SRTV studio here in Abuja. This is Wake Up Nigeria, and my name is Princess Cassie. I have with me today on the show
Patience Okosan.
How was your night?
It was fine. Thank God it's Friday. I
Yes,
actually didn't
thank
feel
God.
like
It's Friday. You know that feeling when it's Friday.
and
Yes,
Princess, what's going on? You're really looking good this morning. This
Thank
blue is
you.
actually very nice on
Thank
you.
you. You too. It's Friday, so we're doing, we decided to do it today since it's
Yes.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, so we have a lot of trending issues as regarding the
Mm.
Senate presidency race. A lot of senators are lobbying, pushing for SAT, east, SAT west. We see how that will go.
Yeah.
And then we also have a lot of trending issues as regarding to the president, the sitting president.
The
We'll see
sitting
more of that.
president. Yes.
Yes, and of course, we're still talking about Nigerians stranded
In Sudan.
in Sudan.
Hmm.
Viewers, when we talk about fake information, how it spread quickly, a lot of people also information that are not properly censored, somehow find their way into the open space, sometimes causing unnecessary havoc. As regards to that, we're going to have a guest later to discuss on that issue, an expert to be precise. But before then, we kickstart this morning with our newspaper reviews. Now, these are some of the stories we have making waves this morning. Now, I'm going to begin this morning with the Daily Sun newspapers. Now, these are some of the stories we have coming from Daily Sun this morning. Senate presidency race. Tinubu rejects APC national working push for, I'm going to take that again, Senate presidency race. Tinubu rejects APC national working committee push for South-South, and the rider says insists zoning should be to South. APC senators-elect root for Kalu as Northerner. Southwest Coalition pushes for Southeast, and that story is on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also have a story here that says court refuses to grant request seeking to stop censors. Now that story it's on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper as well. We'll have a story here that says IPOB Supreme Court grant federal government's request to file additional grants in appeal against Kanu. That story, it's on page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper, adjourned till May 11. And we also have a story here that says Malami dismisses alleged claim about loss of $2.4 billion crude oil sales to China. Now that story is on page 5 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Federal government suspend fuel subsidy removal. Governors hail Osibanjo in valedictory session for him. Now that story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also have a story here that says, don't abandon Buhari after May 29. Adamu APC boss begs Nigerians, urges Nigerians to support Tinubu to succeed. Now that story is on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says why Ugwai worked for my emergence. Mba Enugu governor-elect on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories we have. We also have a story here that says governors want Buhari to present new revenue sharing formula to NAS before May 29. And we also have a story here that says 12 bonds beyond recognition in just tanker explosion. Sad one. On page 5 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now, these are all the stories we have making waves coming from the Daily Sun this morning. I saw a very sad story here this morning. 12 people burnt beyond real.
Very, very, very
Very
sad. Actually,
Kind of having
beyond
goosebumps.
recognition.
Yes,
Oh
that
my
means
God.
it's a tanker explosion. That is why you see most time when I go to the first station, once I see a tanker when I'm driving and a tanker is close by, I find my way out
Out.
immediately.
It's very risky.
Yes, it's risky. And then Also,
And then I
sorry.
thought you were going to jump on this story I saw here that says federal government suspends for a subsidy
Removal.
remover. Yeah,
Yes, they should suspend it for now. Maybe like I said, maybe the policy is right, but the
but the
timing
timing
is
is wrong.
not very good right now for
Yeah, as
people.
Nigerians, we are going through a lot
They've gone
already.
through a lot, and they're still going. We're still going
We're
through
still going through a lot.
a lot
So
of people. Like I had a doctor on the show yesterday. The doctor said, this issue of self-medicating could be sometimes factored by the fact that people don't have enough money. So the money you're
yes,
going to use for running a test, seeing a consultant, you just want to
we
consult
just
on your own
yes,
and just go straight to get the medication. So people are really going
true,
through a
true a
lot.
lot.
I also saw a story here that says, don't abandon Buhari after May
May
29.
29.
Now, Adamu APC boss is begging Nigerians not to abandon their
I heard
president.
the car I entered this morning. I think that was what they were arguing about. And one man seated beside me was very angry that are we supposed to carry him on our head after what he did to Nigerians? That his tenure is actually the worst for him. And he feels like they should just go and dump him in the lagoon. But then I feel this is our president. I also support that we don't abandon him anyway. We should.
See how that
We
goes. We
should.
move on quickly to the next newspaper this morning.
And so from the Punch newspaper this morning, we have the big news here that says National Assembly leadership, Tinubu government dump consensus for zoning. The rider here says governors advise Tinubu against endorsing candidates, seek due process, work with party leadership for principal officers election, Tinubu tells government. You find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Before we move forward, I
Mm,
don't even know why. Maybe because he's the one that is to take over from the
and
president, so they want to
yeah,
work
he wants
with
to,
him. But I
yes.
don't know whether or not they are supposed to be consulting him when
Hmm.
it comes to uh, National Assembly leadership. Are they not supposed to be the lawmakers?
They
So,
are supposed to be the lawmakers, but
and
then it
then,
feels like
yes, and he's telling work with party leadership for principals officer. Tinubu tells governors.
mm,
Now that's I don't know, but I just feel like the National Assembly, by the time we have a judiciary that stands on its own,
mm-hmm,
an executive arm that stands on its own, and we
mm-hmm,
have a legislative arm that is
that
standing
stands
on
on
its
its
own
own.
without now coming to each other to know who. Now I'm thinking they are palling around these arms, and at the end of the day, you see that is why they work instead of doing what they're
What they're
supposed to
supposed
do,
to do,
because
they
this one is
do
my
what
friend,
will
this one is
favor
my
this
party
one.
member
Oh,
and all that. But I
yes,
think
yes.
they should be independent. They
They
should do
should work
the
on their
legislative
own.
the legislative should do their thing, the executive on their own, and then the
Yes,
judiciary as well.
yes, actually.
Yes.
And so moving on the Punch this morning, we also have a news here that says over 60,000 soldiers recruited under my watch, says Buhari. Buhari. And we also have a story here that says $2.4 billion diversion claim baseless. Malami. You find that story on page 16 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says Nigerians rejoice as police go after rogue cops. You find that story on page 3 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says floods. 16 states high federal government relief fund. Um, we also have a story here that says federal government plans supplementary budget as next suspends subsidy removal. You find that story on page 29 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says rescued Nigerian students arrive Egypt, await airlift. You find that story on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. PDP LP lost pull to overconfidence, says Buhari. You find that story on page 40 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Those are the stories making waves this
So
morning
I
coming
saw a
from the
story
Punch.
here. Over 60,000
60,000
soldiers
soldiers.
recruited under my watch, and then this is at the same time we'll have high
High insecurity
insecurity,
issues,
killings,
yes.
kidnappings,
And then,
adoption, and then so what does this
well,
imply?
The same
If we
question,
have
something else.
60,000 soldiers
Soldiers
recruited
recruited.
under your watch, and then this is where we're seeing more of insecurity,
Insecurity
killings,
issues. Yes.
kidnappings a lot. Look at Benue today. There is the place is practically turning to a
Well,
graveyard or a desert, and at the end of the
so
day they told
where
us,
are those soldiers
I
placed? Where
really
are
do not
they?
know, but that is kind of yeah, I just felt somehow reading this morning saying this is really, and this story as well. Rescued Nigerian students to arrive Egypt await airlift.
Airlifts.
I really do hope that they will bring them back, and the ones that are still stranded,
Stranded
they'll
there.
find a way to bring them out.
So,
As well, a story here that says
uh, uh,
floods,
okay.
16 states eye federal government relief fund. Please, states were appealing to individuals, to people, to make ways for water to flow.
Flow.
The waterways should be open. Don't come and dump refuse and everything on one and block
The
the
drainage.
drainage system. So
Yes.
please, everybody should be prepared, because already we saw that report, and it's good we prepare ahead so that we don't have issues of last year.
And so I don't understand how overconfident, according to the story here that says
Maybe he
PDP
felt,
LP lost
yes,
poll.
maybe he felt a lot of people then, like people really clamored for Peter Obi, and they felt like
Yes,
he's already the
the
winner
winner.
and all that. Sometimes too, you allow the process to come before you can tell these things.
Mm.
Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper we'll have, and this is coming from the Nation newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories that made it to the headlines. Um, why Tinubu flawed Atiku Obi by President Buhari, and the rider says President-elect urges governors to back party on National Assembly top positions. Now that story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. We also have a story here that says mixed reactions, trays subsidy removal shift, NSC, LCCL, NESA, CA, other states positions. That story is on page 8 of the Nation newspaper. We also have a story here that says 48 million barrel of crude oil not missing, Malami tells reps. And that story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Southwest states launch regional power ray projects. That story is on page 27 of the Nation newspaper. We also have a story here that says Buhari, we have done our best to improve security. Now that story it's on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says UK Prime Minister pledges support for Tinubu administration. That story is on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories we have this morning coming from the Nation
Mm.
newspaper.
Mm.
Buhari spend retirement in Kaduna. That story also is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we have a story here: 10 bonds in Plateau tanker accidents. Judgment to reserved in EU murder case, and that story is on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Now, these are all the stories we have this morning. Uh, we also have a story here that says lover set self ablaze. These are the stories we have this morning, and I saw a story here that says why Tinubu flawed Atiku and Buhari. Now, this is coming from the president this morning, and he said also that they have done their best to improve the security. Now, what's your take
Well,
as a Nigerian, my viewers? Because
well, if you ask me my take, Princess, I feel like, okay, the man has actually come out, our president has actually come out to admit that he has seen the insecurity cases and he had admitted that he had done his best, actually. But then I feel like his best is not
good
good
enough.
enough for me personally. His best is not good enough. He can do more. He could have done more. 8 good years is enough for him to have done more than what he actually did. But then he has come out to say it. He has said what he had to say.
Well, people will always have their different opinion when it comes to issues like this, but I do hope that the incoming administration will do better,
Better.
because the lives of the people matters as well.
Yeah.
We've seen in Kano, we've seen in Kaduna, in especially Benue, where communities are now in robots, no human beings, no structure, nothing is standing. But we'll move on quickly to the next newspaper we have this morning.
And so, coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning, the big news here says Nigeria's drug crisis hits 500 billion naira worth of seizures yearly. You find that story on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. We also have a news here that says after $800 million palliative, federal government suspends subsidy, cites wrong timing. You find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says APC crisis, Lukman drags Adamu to court over alleged breach of party constitution. You find that story also on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Malami knocks reps, says claims of illegal $2.4 billion oil sales false. You find that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And so we also have a story here that says Sudan crisis, confusion, logistic, hurdles trail evacuation. You find that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. I think those are the story making waves this morning from the Guardian. And this drug issue is actually something we need to talk about. The fact that it's even coming, funny enough, I heard from the headlines yesterday, I was listening about two of our very own um, um, people in power. I don't want to mention names, at least their names are
Well, the
mentioned,
APC,
actually talking
PDP
about I'm
stalwarts,
not in this, I'm not.
yes,
If that is actually coming from people as high and mighty as that, I wonder what becomes of the people, like the citizens. This drug issue needs to be tackled as soon as possible.
it's really a shame also that we live in a country where I always say that if it were to be in a developed country, you cannot come out. You, in fact, it would be
Publicly,
arrested the moment they
yes.
hear that you're into drugs somehow. But here, you still get away with it
It's
regardless,
quite a
because
shame,
this is
actually.
Nigeria, like we always say. We move on quickly this morning to the next newspaper we have, and this is the Daily Independent. Now, these are some of the stories making waves this morning. Um, we have $744 million blocked funds, costs working for foreign carriers quitting Nigeria, and the writer says Emirates consultant exits, declares workers redundant. Stakeholders urges to tackle saves in dollars to stop job cuts. Another story, it's on page 2 of the Daily Independent newspaper. We also have a story that says no stolen 48 million barrels of crude oil worth $2.4 billion. This is coming from Miami. And says red scope of allegations unconstitutional sub justice. Now that story is on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Also have a story here that says Buhari boasts of facilitating recruitment of 60,000 soldiers ordered face terrorism. Terrorists are being subdued. Now that story is on page 4 of the Daily Independent. Also have a story here that says governors ask Buhari to present new revenue sharing formula to NAS. Now that story is on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Ebony commissioners 36 billion naira airports officers free flights for 4 weeks. That story is on page 7 as well. Also have a story here, homicide. Fresh trouble for Doguwa as court asks Kanu AG to protect charges against him. Others. That story is on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says overconfidence worked against opposition in 2023 election states. That story is on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. FGN Security says risk-free investment opportunities DNO on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Now, these are all the stories making waves this morning. Well, Um, I saw a story here that says governors ask
Ask.
Buhari to present new revenue sharing formula to NAS. I don't think um, I don't think at this point the governors are governors supposed to be telling
Why?
Buhari or
President.
National Assembly, the lawmakers, how to run. Yes,
Why?
yes.
I
If you,
don't think they have that power to. The National Assembly are on their own, so they should know what they are meant to do.
and then I saw a story here. I'm thinking the governors should concentrate more in the
Their
states because
states.
they have a lot of issues
Yes.
already in each state of this country. People are being suppressed. People
Yes.
are going through a lot. So focus that energy on
In
the
your
states.
state.
Let the lawmakers
Do
do
their
their own
work.
thing and Buhari do what is right. And then I saw a story here. This story again that says Buhari boasts of facilitating recruitment of 60,000. That it says terrorism are being subdued. If you ask me, I have
They
a
are not.
different opinion.
I think I stand with you in this, princess. I have a different opinion, me too, because I don't know how come and where are the 60,000 soldiers, considering the rate of insecurity in our country today. So I don't know where those soldiers are, but then see how that goes.
It's really sad because on the time we talk about insecurity, people being killed, people being
Like
kidnapped.
Prince,
Up to now, a lot of people, some of these people have been kidnapped for 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, months for
there
months,
is
and there is
virtually no day we come here to read the headlines that we don't get to read a case of
and I don't know where that
insecurity.
is coming from, but it's really a shame to see
Yeah.
that this is coming from the president saying that the insecurity have been subdued. Anyways,
Hmm.
viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with the newspaper reviews. Now, stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
SRTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you. As the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register online with just 500 naira and stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 100,000 naira and the deal of becoming our ambassador. There will also be consolation prizes for second and third place winners. To register, kindly pay the registration fee and send your name, age, picture, and state of origin to this number 0906 895 2170. For more inquiries, please call 0907 400 78.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you. As the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register.
Back from that quick break, we're still on the newspaper review. This is Wake Up Nigeria, reaching you live from our SRTV studio here in Abuja. Now I'm going to continue from the Blueprint newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories making waves from the Blueprint newspaper. We have here, amid funding security concerns, court stops move to postpone 2023 housing population census. And the writer says deploying 100 billion to exercise wasteful economic offense. This is coming from Afenifere this morning. We also have a story here. One of the writers says citizens distraught by recent elections security challenges. NPC allays fears, insist we have covered 99% of Nigerian. All these stories are on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says mixed reactions trace federal government's decision to back down on fuel subsidy removal. This story is on page 10 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says Naira drops again at black markets, exchange rates at 740 per dollar, $1. We also have a story here that says bridge. APC National Working Committee member drags National Chair Adamu to court, writes Buhari Tinubu PGF over accountability. That story is on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says federal government establishes agro minerals ISO certified lab. Now that story is on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says opposition victim of overconfidence in 2023 polls, says Buhari, on page 13 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says cash shortage in first quarter will hamper Nigeria's economy in 2023. This is coming from Fitch this morning on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says expect new Alafin of Oyo before May 29. Kingmaker, and that story is on page 8 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says NNPCL signs MOU to build floating LNG to boost cooking gas utilization, and that story is on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper. Now, these are all the stories coming from the Blueprint this morning. And I saw a story here that says a cash shortage in first quarter will hamper Nigeria's economy in 2023. I think that report is very correct because we've gone through a lot, the cashless policy and all that. And I think that is one thing that we really do hope that Nigerians will not be surprised more than they already are, because they are really complaining already. A lot of cries here and there. And then as well, we have a story here, mixed reaction throws federal government's decision to back down on fuel subsidy removal. Now, even me, I think if you ask me my opinion, don't remove for now. It might benefit us, like we had an expert that said it's for everyone's benefit. But I think the timing, as it stands now, if you tell me to go and buy fuel for 450 or 750, I don't think I will do that. I think at that point people will start working from home. Stay in your house and work from home, because because how much is your salary that you want to come and be using for transportation or buying fuel and moving from one point to another? Yes, we'll move on quickly now to the next newspaper we'll have. And so coming from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, the big headline here says restore local refinery, says NLC as federal government hot subsidy remover. The writer here says timing should not be now, finance minister. And then you also have a writer that says it is commendable, TUC, leave petrol subsidy remover for incoming government, CPPE, says you find that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says federal government files 9 fresh ground opposing Nnamdi Kanu release. You find that story on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says allegation of missing 48 million barrels of crude baseless unfounded. Allegation of missing 48 million barrels of crude baseless unfounded. Malami says, actually, you find that story on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says Utaka wants Pesero's job. Utaka wants Pesero's job. We also have a story here this morning that says oil prices drop below 80 PB dollar as OPEC others end meeting. We have a story also that says 10th NAS leadership work with Adamu's NWC. Tinubu tells APC government. You'll find that story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says Buhari government shouldn't be blamed for not bringing back all Chibok girls presidency. You find that story on page 17 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And so finally from the Vanguard says Sudan, Nigerian students trapped in desert. You find that story on page 32 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Those are the news making waves this morning from the Vanguard.
Nigerian students trapped in desert. This is not a good one. This is not a good one.
I think I heard that this morning, and the first thing that came to my mind was, Princess, did you hear the amount of money that was actually put into bringing Nigerians back?
This is not good at all as a nation, as a people. Okay, now I know apparently these politicians, the people in power, their children, they are not
not there. That's the main
thing. But even at that, the fact that they are Nigerians, they are under your care. It is your duty to go and respond quickly. We have been making this call since last week. Something needs to be done.
Like this is
I know how it is when somebody is in desert, no food, no water, nothing. How do you think these people will survive? We do hope that they will all come back home safely. And then we talked about this fuel subsidy removal. I said the timing should not be now.
Yeah,
that was my what I've been saying, that the timing is not a good timing. And I do hope that Nigeria and as a country will do more to bring back our people from Sudan. A lot of people have been evacuating. Whichever way they are, whichever means they've been using to evacuate, I think we should apply the same and evacuate as citizens immediately. A lot of money has been disposed as regards that evacuation, so we shouldn't have issues of slow evacuation like the students were complaining yesterday. We move on quickly to the last newspaper we'll have this morning, and this is the Punch Sport Extra this morning. Now these are some of the stories making waves this morning. Can lightning strike twice? I beg your pardon. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Punch this morning. Punch Sport Extra. We have the main headline here says, playing for Falcons at highest level, like I did back then, was the greatest moment of my career. As a team, we gave our best each time we were on the pitch. Now, this is coming from, and she went further to say, my best moments with Super Falcons. Now, this is coming from Ife Nowan Igbo. One of the players says this morning. I will have a story here as well that says Oshola Star as Baka. Oshola Stars as Baka reach WCL final. Also have a story here that says Emmy best coach of this era, says Olisa. That story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra. We also have a story here that says Liverpool out of top 4 race. This is coming from Clough this morning on page 3 of the Punch Sport Extra. We also have a story here that says Lampard hits at Abraham chances. That story is on page 5 of the Punch Extra this morning. Also have a story here that says United handed
Osimhen transfer boost, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We also have a story here that says the EPL destiny in our hands. Pep. That story is on page 4 of the Sport Extra this morning. United not desperate to sign Kenan. That story is on page 5 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. Now, these are some of the stories we have making waves this morning, coming from the Punch Sport Extra this morning. I think Super Falcons, I think they're really doing well. They're making us proud, and say kudos to them. Keep doing your thing. We are happy and we are so proud of you girls. Keep that hard work. Viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, I'll be returning with a guest to talk about some of these issues, especially when it comes to the social media space, things that are not censored or things that should go in or not. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
SRTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +4.
That quick break, like I promised before that break, I was going to come back with an expert to discuss some of these very topical issues. I have with me here live your call Amanda Chisom. She's an influencer, an opinion blogger, and of course she's the CEO of Touch Place Communication, a youth and children rights activist, and of course a PRO expert. You're welcome, Amanda Chisom. Good morning. You're welcome. Same here. So we kickstart quickly. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. In the era of fake news, how do you think governments can check and spread the spread of fake news by unprofessional bloggers? I know you're a blogger, a professional one. So we have a lot of things that are not censored finding their way into the social media. How do you think we can checkmate this?
To be extremely honest with you, I really don't think there's a straight way to checkmate fake news, because it's always a source. And I think that the best thing anybody can hope for is that there are flags to this news and there are consequences of spreading this news. So I think when there are consequences for action, people are more careful about spreading fake news. But apart from obvious consequences, I don't think there's a lot anybody can do about it. That's the truth.
Okay, now as there were public outcry about social media bill talking about ways to now control the spread of fake news. Now this bill has been sponsored by the 9th Assembly. Do you think that the complaint is justified?
I think that they are only trying to pin down news, in the sense that everybody will try to use it against somebody. So if there is actually a true news about somebody, anybody can say, oh, that news is fake and I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to sue you for this. So the truth is that while it is a good thing to check, I don't know if there's any country apart from the countries who have democratic issues that are after what people said on social media and what they did not say. So I really do not think it is a proper thing to draft any kind of bill checkmating people on social media. All you can actually do is responsive and proactive reaction to fake news. So let's assume there's a fake news of the Nigerian government. What I expect, and there's a whole ministry of information for that, is for them to immediately come in or proactively or reactively retract the news. Immediately it's retracted, the news dies down. Once there's a retraction and a better explanation for the news, it dies down. So I really think that the bill by the 9th Assembly or any other assembly that may come up is just a way of checkmating the freedom of speech.
Okay.
Yes, there's a law that says that there is freedom of speech and there's freedom of reaction or whatever, but what happens after that, you cannot account for it. So what I think they should do is enact solid laws that help us check this news as it comes and help us punish offenders who keep on repeating this news so that people know that there are consequences for their actions.
Okay, we all know that there are many bloggers that are out there which are not really professional journalists or PR personnel, thereby they tend to neglect the ethics of journalism. What's your take on that?
Blogging as it is in Nigeria right now is not there's no rules to it. There have not been, unlike the traditional media that NBC controls the narrative and controls what they do. Blogging as it is in Nigeria, there's no law guiding them, there's nothing guiding them. So it's going to be like this. So there is actual law guiding them. Maybe if there is like a certified guild of bloggers, this will have that. I don't know what happened, whether they have passed a law on that. But there's a guild, there's an issue, there's a national office that is enacted by law to check bloggers. That means if you're not a member of this group, you're not allowed to blog. That's when some sanity will come into blogging. But for now, I do not see how it will happen. So as long as there is no check and balances to blogging or blogsphere as it's popularly called, I do not see how they could check these excesses right now.
Well, now as a blogger, what's your take on content creation?
Content is king. As far as blogging, as far as creation of business or whatever it is, content is king. Content or blogging or content in blogging or any other business it's what makes you what you are. It's what people come from. So content is king in my industry, but at the same time, content should have a modicum of social responsibility to it. So you just don't say whatever you like because you're doing content. You just don't do whatever you like because you're doing content. There should be moderation to content creation, but content is definitely king as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. So moving away from blogging, let's take you a bit into politics. What's your take on the 2023 election, and what are some of the lessons Nigerians can learn from it generally? And also in Adamawa, we all know the Adamawa saga. What's your take about it?
The 2023 election, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not saying this from a place of bias, I'm not saying this from a place of any kind of attachment to any of the candidates, but I had never, in all my years of being involved, I started out as a political blogger, by the way, so in all my years as a blogger and political activism, I have never seen the excitement, the participation, and the political interest that I have seen in 2023 election. It was so exciting to see. This was something we have been praying and hoping for would happen in Nigerian politics. Normally, our youths are not interested in politics. They do not vote. And
yes,
the
that is right.
This time was high. Unfortunately, what happened. If we had a situation where INEC had followed its own modalities for that election and had done what they said would do, and we had a credible election, whoever had emerged, I would be the first person to say, "Oh, congratulations, you earned this." But when what happened, we saw places where there was like arrogant rigging. That was what I would call it, because it was called like an outright disrespect for Nigerian people. Nobody was even afraid of the consequences. People told you blatantly, go to court. When an armed robber tells you go to court, that means they are the brother.
Yeah,
It's the judge.
That is right.
So we had a situation where there was too much rigging. This was the last hope for a lot of young people. The economy has been bad. There have been cases of kidnap and all that. So this was the last hope. There were so many people that were holding on to this thing. They were saying, okay, if this doesn't work, we're leaving. We're having what we call an ancestral migration to other countries. These people who are leaving may never come back. So this election came with a lot of hope for the young people. And before our very Right, it was destroyed. I saw a lot of young people breaking their voters' card. I saw a lot of young people saying, I would never vote again. Their hopes, their aspirations, their dream was trashed before them. And I hope that the judiciary does something. No matter who emerges the winner and the victory at the end of the day, I want to see the judicial interpretation to what has happened.
What has happened
in Adamawa was shameful because someone like me, I was also excited about seeing a female governor. I'm sure every woman in Nigeria,
of course we were very excited.
I'm sure everybody was happy to see that happen. But the way she went about it, the way they went about it was heartbreaking because it sent the message that women may even be more vicious than their male counterparts. In politics, it wasn't sending a good message at all. But I'm glad at the end of the day, the Adamawa people got what they voted for. It's a work in progress. Democracy is not developed in a day, it's not developed in 10, 5 years. But I hope one day, while in our lifetime, we'll get to see good democratic practices in Nigeria. But for now, I'm going to say this, and honestly, I will say I'm disappointed, and it doesn't look good.
Wow, I bet a lot of people are also of the same opinion as yours. Now, a few weeks to the May 29th, some people are the inauguration. Some people are actually calling for the cancellation of the inauguration because of the president-elect, because of the election process. A lot of people described as a sham. Now, do you think that is a good call?
Yeah, I think people calling for the cancellation of the inauguration, but I do not think it's practical.
Okay.
To cancel the inauguration at this time, I don't think it's practical. I think the only thing we can hope for is that the judiciary, which is described as the hope of the common man, will give Nigerians back their hope. I want this case to actually go through a judicial process, a good judicial process.
Because a lot of youths. A lot of youths have the opinion. I've interviewed a lot of people that say they've given up hope on not just the system but the judiciary as well, because they feel like they are being biased.
When a country does not have judiciary to fall back on, when a country, the youth and members of a country can openly say they do not have a lot of hope in the judiciary process, we might as well as call it a day. There is no country. In all the countries of the world, people are scared of the court. People are scared of the decision of the court. So the time when people say, oh, I don't have any hope, just know it's over as a country, it's never going to go well. But I'm just hoping that something different will happen this time. And I think we should give the judiciary the benefit of the doubt, right? Let us go through the judicial process. If they disappoint us, we can now actually say that we gave it all. The election, they trusted the executive, they disappointed us. We trusted the legislation, they disappointed us. Because there is also a legislative arm to this. The legislative had the new electoral law, right? So it was done their duty. Then the executive, which comprises of the presidency, the INEC and all that, disappointed us. So now our last hope, rightly so, is the judiciary. I do not want people to write the judiciary off so quick. Maybe there have been precedents that have made them write them off. But the law is the law, and I'm interested to see how this law will be interpreted. So please, let's just give it a last hope. It's too late to cancel the inauguration. Whatever it is that will happen may end in chaos and loss of lives for Nigerians, right? I don't want that to happen. So I think the Nigerian people should just wait for the judiciary to conclude their findings, interpret the law, pass a judgment. Then we'll know how to go from there. But to cancel the inauguration, I don't see it happening. Even if you want it to happen, I do not think it's possible. So it's a call that would waste our time.
And energy as well. All right. Just before we let you go, Amanda Chisom, as a youth and children rights activist, now what do you think the youth? Well, what's your advice moving forward? Because you said that a lot of people are destroying their PVCs, and a lot of people also are leaving the country, seeking for greener pastures elsewhere. Now they don't even care whether that country is less of a country than Nigeria. They just want to go away. Now, what do you think the youth should do?
I think the Nigerian youth are divided across political, tribal, and religious line, which is unfortunate because we do not understand that a good and better Nigeria works for everybody, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your educational level, regardless of your religious beliefs or cultural beliefs. Now, for those of us who have been opportune and blessed to have traveled to a lot of countries in the world, we can tell you for sure that what we have in Nigeria is not a life. It is depressing, it is not sustainable, and it is horrible. And I think the Nigerian youth are a lot more laid back. They do not fight for their right. They are comfortable with sitting down. They are comfortable with not troubling the water. I think we need to rise. At this point, I'm going to say that all eyes should be on the judiciary. The judiciary is our last hope. I think they're letting the judiciary get away with whatever they can do. But let's make it very clear that we are not going to stand for it this time around. We want the right thing to be done. And at the end of the day, no matter who emerges as the winner and the victory in the court cases in the court, please, I'll beg everybody to accept the outcome of that judiciary decision, knowing fully well that all laws have been interpreted to the satisfaction and according to the laws of the land. So please, no matter what it is, we should never give up. I'm not going to tell anybody, do not leave Nigeria if you're not satisfied. I just saw a video where a young girl was killed. That's a lawyer, she's the only charge, and she was kidnapped and killed. In the same country, these things do not happen. It's shocking that anybody will lose their life so carelessly over what they cannot explain. So it's important that we also understand that our lives are at stake, and it's only right that if we try so much to fix our country, it does not work. I will always tell people it's time to find new homes. So that's all I can say. So all our advice, Nigerian youth, is to please hold on a little while, but at the same time, make yourself a force that every other person has to deal with in this country. Thank you.
Well, that is nice, Amanda Chisom. Now, just one last question. Now, let's move away from politics and blogging and the social media space. Let's go to, I know you're also a property consultant. Now, at a time like this where the economy is really down, a lot of people are feeling the pressure. Yeah. A lot of landlords also, this is the time they are now increasing rents. A lot of Nigerians, like we did a Vox Pop the other day, a lot of Nigerians were actually complaining bitterly. Now, how is that sector working, Amanda Chisom?
The real estate sector has taken a whole lot of hit since last year. In fact, it has not been as good as it used to be in previous administration. But since last year, October, it has really been bad. You need to feed yourself first before you talk about buying lands and properties, right? So
that is right.
Been hard. You would not blame the landlords because now they are tapping into their former investment, and now using some of them, they don't have anywhere else to get resources from. It was when your landlord was doing business and doing well that he doesn't even think of increasing rent and all that. But now, some of them, their only sources of surviving, of feeding their own children and taking care of themselves and maintaining their lifestyle is through the rent. So it is really bad, and I hope that maybe there will be a legislature about rentage in Nigeria. But till then, another group of people will say, I'm a landlord myself, so another group of people will say, you cannot tell us how much we'll charge in a house that we build. But at the same time, we need to be all considerate of each other. We need to all consider each other in this. We are in this together. The mess swallows everybody. So I think it's a little appeal for mercy, appeal for leniency with the Landlords Association. I think that's all you can do. But you can't tell anybody how much to charge in their houses. Okay. Another thing I think would help the situation is for the Nigerian Housing Authority or the Federal Housing Authority to bring in low-cost houses to help Nigerians live in low-cost houses. When everybody is a landlord now, who will pay rent? Everybody will rent. That is right. The prices of rentage will come down. Surely people will be able to survive. Things are too hard in Nigeria. Inflation is like over 150% all the time. So I don't know how it will be done, but I do hope that the incoming administration, whether it's the one people do not want or the one people want, whoever it is, will look at the problems and the plight of Nigerian people and do something to alleviate their suffering.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying there is a means or there's a body whereby all the landlords come together in an agreement, right?
Yeah, there's something called Association of Landlords.
And that brings all the landlords together in an agreement. So if they decide to bring down the house rent, all the landlords all over the country will get to agree to that, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I've been on the phone with the very delectable Amanda Chisom. She's a communication consultant, property consultant, event planner, a social media influencer, public relation expert, opinion blogger, youth and children rights activist, and the CEO of Touch Please Communication. Thank you so very much, Amanda Chisom,
Thank
for
you very
being
much,
on
Amanda.
the show. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yes.
That was very, very educative.
I've been on the phone. Yes, I've been on the phone with, I call her delectable. She's a mentor as well. I've been on the phone with the very delectable Amanda Chisom. She's a communication consultant, property consultant, event planner, social media influencer, PR experts, opinion blogger, youth and children activist, and she is the CEO of Touch Blaze Communication here in Abuja. That was quite interesting.
I think I love the way she handled the election
issue.
She really broke it down, and
she's also that I didn't introduce her, that she's also a PDP carrying member.
Yeah,
yes, she's one of the strong youths they have.
The way she spoke, she can actually give hope again to the youths.
Yes,
because I really feel I shouldn't just give up
hope
right
is
now.
Lost,
yes,
but
let me wait. Yeah, just like she has said, let's wait and see what the legislative would do.
And she made something. She said something, viewers. Now I want that to be your take home. In as much as we're waiting, we're relying on the judiciary to come and rescue us, because that is the last hope regarding this election issues we're having. Make yourself a force to be reckoned with. So no matter what, with or without the country, the government, politics, you also be standing as an individual, standing tall on your own. That would be a very good place to wrap up the show this morning. But just before we go, don't forget our Nigerian Week London that is fast approaching. Of course, a lot of people, agencies, ministries, and of course the celebrities are already partnering with us. You don't want to be left out. So get your tickets, book your stand, and be part of that event. It's going to be fun. We're talking about the food, the music, the film, the colors we're going to display as a people there in London, and of course the business opportunity. I will always emphasize on that, because we have people coming in from not just Nigeria to London, but a lot of people are coming in from every part of the world to participate in that event. So don't be left out. And before we go as well, remember to hit on the notification bell, like our content, share our page, and like everything on that page, because we have a lot to give to you. A lot of things, interesting stories are happening here in SRTV. So do well to invite somebody to the page. And while you are out there, stay safe. Be at alert. Drivers, please drive carefully. And remember to obey the traffic laws. Thank God it's Friday, like we always say.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. We'll have a lot of fun after work today, the way we used to do it. But while you are out there having fun, it's Friday. Like I will always say, remember,
peace is priceless.
So let's give peace a chance. I remain yours truly, Princess Kese.
And I am Patience Okoson.
See you on Monday. Bye for now.
SRTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week and the capital of the